is. Let us go ahead and get started. Mike, shall we talk about not Morro Bay, Almost Park?
Yeah, man. Let's make it happen. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm just really thankful that there's people out there willing to risk basically, their possible death to exercise a right that we all should have, and it's a salient example what's going on out in Almost Park, that we don't live in a free society anymore. I mean, if citizens merely carry weapons that they're legally allowed to carry for the purpose of self-defense, there's a problem. There's a fundamental problem. I mean, we like to believe that we have this Bill of Rights and this Constitution and that we're all protected by it and it's all hunky-dory. Well, that's all fine and good on paper. But, in practice, you're allowed to say anything you want in America. But the moment people start listening to you, or the moment you start, swimming against the grain and all the other little fish want to swim towards you, and you start to get attention or momentum or start to piss off the wrong people, they'll shut you down. And first, they'll try to ridicule you. Second, they'll try to, harass you. And third, they'll kill you. American history is replete with people that have stood up and they've gotten murdered for it, and I'll just put the ball back in Bunny's court, but I'm really thankful that there's people out there like Open Carry Texas and all the other, hundreds of thousands of other activists all over the country trying to make the world a better place. If you're walking out your front door and you're trying to do something to make the world a better place, I don't care about your political ideology. I love you and I'll support you. I don't care, about all this right versus left stuff. But yeah, I'm just done talking for now, Bunny.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead. I got the Watch Together page up. We're going to look at a quick clip from the Potosi. As is, it's quite the interesting meeting happened Thursday involving the city ordinance. Let's go ahead and watch.
I would simply like to say there is no state statute in the state of Texas that prohibits the carry of a long gun openly, except under certain specific circumstances.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion.
Okay, I'll recognize Mr. Pellegrino.
I move that we repeal section 24.85 of the city ordinances.
Second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nobody's opposed. Motion carried.
All right, so what happened here is they repealed the ordinance that was against being able to have rounds in the magazine or the rifle itself, or shotgun, rifle, or any kind of long gun, while open carrying it in the city. Now, here's the kicker. A lot of people have been commenting that people who have been arrested on this specific, with the issue of open carry, have not been charged with that ordinance. They've been charged with several other kinds of crimes, ranging from disorderly conduct to resisting arrest or interfering with an official's investigations and stuff like that. That is what we're seeing. So this is just more or less a smokescreen, as some people have put it. What do you say, Mike?
I say it's, too little too late. It's come out, thanks to News Now Houston and the Potosi and Open Carry Texas, that this police force, this police chief, and this city council are all a gang of criminals. And it's too little too late. I think they're trying to backpedal now and trying to, appease all these right-wing activists, because Texas is a right-wing state. That's their voting base. If they want to ever get elected again, they're going to have to appeal to conservatives, and conservatives don't like it when you step on their constitution. And I'd like to say something else about this stupid city ordinance. Like, oh wow, okay. First of all, if you make it illegal to have a loaded firearm, right? If you write a city ordinance that says that you can be jailed over this, or fined, or both, whatever. I haven't read the specifics, but okay, this is why it's really dumb. Okay, in order to ascertain whether or not someone's firearm is loaded, you have to perform an illegal search or an unlawful search, unless the person says, "Oh yes, officer, my firearm is open or loaded," and then opens up, pulls back the charging handle, whatever, opens it and shows the bullets in the magazine. Like, if they don't volunteer that information, they have to search. So it takes a dump on the Fourth Amendment, because they have to search to ascertain whether or not it's loaded. And it goes against Texas state law. So just on those 2 points, I don't see how that city council was thinking at all when they established this dumb city ordinance.
Well, and the thing is with it, there's a lot of cities out there have ordinances that violate some sort of case law, or violate some sort of civil rights, some sort of constitutional established law that takes precedence over it, and they've been on the books for 40 to 100 years and stuff like that. There's like stupid stuff of you can't have a loaded firearm when you can't preempt the state constitution or the state laws on that stuff. There's stuff with like dealing with various kinds of speech, like offensive speech laws. When you look at it, there's several federal case laws that go, no, that law is no longer valid or isn't valid, period. And sometimes these things just slip through because no one wants to do the legal research. Is this legal or not? It was one of the big, huge battles when in Anchorage with the whole drone thing, where I pointed out the FAA has the sole authority for regulating the the skies, when it comes to flying and all that stuff. And if you try to compete with that, you're going to lose in the long run, because Congress said FAA has the sole authority to regulate and the whole dealing with flying and being in the sky and all that stuff. No other agency has been given that authority, so you're going to be a little bit screwed on that part if you try to fight with the FAA over the enforcement of some of your rules. And I end up listing out about 5 or 6 case laws in that meeting that talk about, oh, there is this lawsuit, there is this lawsuit, and there is this lawsuit, where the FAA kicked those cities' asses in court. And and the segue onto further issues, it still does not deal with the issue of the bad police officers that are in that department, and it goes all the way up to the police chief himself. And I think a couple activists have said the only way they're going to really be able to resolve this issue is they completely dissolve the police department and redo the entire thing.
No, I had my mic muted. Yeah, man, I think that when you have this much corruption, I mean, we have News Now Houston, and he has no reason to be untruthful about this report, saying that these cops are actually trying to threaten and intimidate women by threatening to rape them, right?
And we saw a great example with that on Wednesday's show, where that one officer literally ignores Texas Sheepdog and goes after Buck G with his gun pointed at her, slapping the cell phone out of her hand and trying to slap the other camera out of her hand.
Right, and you can tell by that video that it looks like the camera went onto the ground.